to go and sort out the mess on the bow. I'll take you to show to see. So you got the Janica. It is strapped on, which is dropped in haste to put up the spinnaker. And there she is. Next mission, now the spinnaker's up, is to sort out this. This is the sock up and down line. So, and then I've got to get this Janica into a bag. That's the next mission. Peeling sails on an Imoca 60 is very, very, very tiring.
Good morning, Seawolves! Thank you all so much for sticking around last night. I'm sorry that I was a little bit late, but really great to see all your support with over almost 700 people waiting. So really awesome, and that's why I'm trying to be, hopefully going to be a little bit earlier today with this Sunday Vendee Globe 2020 report. And I gotta say, are we excited yet? Are we excited yet? I mean, I know you've been looking at the tracker, so you all know what's going on. Are we excited? I think we're excited, right? So let's get our coffees out. Everybody ready? There's real coffee in here, by the way. I hope you guys can see it. We don't want to get into that discussion again. 3, 2, 1. Good Sunday morning. Okay, well, I guess now we are ready to analyze this thing. And my gosh, is this exciting. So let's switch actually to the weather report straight away. I mean, I guess we can take a quick look at the tracker. Now, obviously, we've all seen and heard the news that out of the situation yesterday, Mr. Alex has, you know, how do you say that? Made the ringer. I don't know what is the English expression, but came through the ringer of this horribly complex, you know, weather system that the fleet started in, and came out victorious so far, and seems to be really in a position, if we look at the weather report right now, I mean, oh my, right? Look at this. I mean, it's just a beautiful, straight field of amazing, you know, basically some areas with like 10-15 knots, but most of it is 20 to 30, which and in the right direction, putting all of the fleet on a beautiful, you know, slightly behind the beam reaching situation. So you couldn't imagine a more perfect situation for all of the boats once they make it into the system. But both Jean Le Cam and Hugo Boss are the first to enter it. They're the first to really be able to make use of it, and it's very clear that they've been building up you know, quite a significant lead now over the night, and it looks like, if they play their cards right, they're in for 3, maybe 4 days of this just amazing straight, you know, champagne sailing, as we say, for the most part, exactly able to pick their perfect course according to their boat. So I think we're going to see some absolutely just amazing sailing over the next few days, and so that is really cool. Let's look at some of the weather routing actually here. So just about the weather, if you look at my predict wind here, so I'm actually able to look at different wind prediction models, let's say. And so as you can see, I have actually several ones of them here, and I told you in an earlier video, when all of the different weather prediction systems agree, that's when we really get happy. And as far as this goes, it looks like more or less all of the predictions seem a lock for the current situation, and for the first at least 3 days they're more or less all in lockstep. So very high probability that this weather system is going to stick around and create some amazing racing for us over the next few days. So as you can see, if I run the weather routing, we see that, yeah, basically perfect course downwind, you know, keeping steady for at least the next several days. This is Tuesday, Wednesday, and basically more or less midday on Wednesday. That's when we're going to get into kind of doldrum situations again. But so that means at least probably 2.5 full days of just absolutely amazing sailing conditions. So we'll take another look at it here in the windy map, so you can guys see the weather, and yeah, also fully in agreement. So as they keep going, Monday, going through Monday, Tuesday, and as we go through to Wednesday, yeah, we can see those kind of windless spots, those stripes in the bottom. So this is more or less when they will arrive there, and so we can see, you know, some possible clear paths through there, some possible doldrums to be really careful with, but in general a very doable situation. So really happy in a way that yeah, my prediction from 3-4 days ago now kind of came true, that you know, once they were right above system Theta, that more or less whoever was able to tack at the right time and run that system and build up a lead would be in a great position to you know, build up a real lead and kind of go for the gold. And I guess that both Jean Le Cam and Hugo Boss have both done this in an amazing way. I mean, so much kudos. Of course, I talked at length about Jean Le Cam's record yesterday, and you know, most of you know Alex Thomson's record. So yeah, very well deserved for the two men, and it's great to see them doing so well really this early in the race with such a complex system behind them. So I guess maybe we separated the boys from the men, as they say, and women from the girls. And now, of course, the thing is to look forward. And I think that right now, what's kind of interesting to talk about is the psychological game, right? Because now kind of the two favorites are in front, but then psychologically the game really changes. Remember, both Jean Le Cam and Hugo Boss have lost this race several times due to damages. Jean had to be rescued off his boat, having broken it severely when rounding Cape Horn before. You all know the story about Hugo Boss, had to be rescued also once, broke his foil last time, and that cost him, you know, first place arguably.
Yesterday morning I was dozing when there was an almighty bang. The boat turned hard to starboard, the rudder popped up. Once I'd managed to get the rudder back down and get the boat sorted out, I realised that the foil had broken, the starboard foil had broken. There's still a bit of it there, jagged edges sticking out the side of the boat, slowing me down, but I can't do anything about that. I can't get it in any further, so at some point I'm going to have to, I guess, go over the side and cut it off.
So both of these men have been in first positions in this race, have held on to first positions in this race for a long time, and then see it slip through their fingers. So you have to appreciate the psychological game where you go from, I want to be first, you know, want to be first, fighting for that first position, to that subtle change where you are in the lead, and then all of a sudden the message is no longer, I gotta get ahead of whoever happens to be in front of you. It becomes, I need to not fuck this up. And that psychologically is a very different game. You have nobody to really race against, you have nobody to look forward to beating, you have nobody really to react to. They are now setting the pace, they are now setting this race, and it's theirs to lose, as they say. And I think it will be very, very interesting to see what they do. If we look at the current boat speeds, we're seeing again that of course Hugo Boss is going considerably faster than Yes We Can, but that totally makes sense for, you know, since the wind conditions are just getting really optimal now for foiling. And I also think that with Alex's average speed, well, right now it's a little bit lower, but a few hours back it was I think 19 knots at some point. And so that also suggests that, you know, with the wave conditions and stuff, that probably they're kind of bouncing around between maybe 24 knots and 16 or 15, which, you know, puts us on that average of like 17, 18, 19 that we keep seeing. But I think that his top speeds are probably quite a bit higher, and that's why we see him build up that lead. Because a lot of people are saying, you know, in the comments and are commenting like, hey, Hugo Boss keeps, you know, seems to be slower in numbers than Apiva or Quorum or any of the other boats. How is it that he keeps, you know, building out, expanding that lead? Well, that's because we're looking at a moment's grab from the AIS where we're saying, well, this is the speed he's going right now. But if he's just, you know, climbing up a big wave, you know, he might be slower. Or if he just slowed down a little bit, might be slower. But we might also throughout the day see some, you know, where we grab a point where all of a sudden he seems much faster. I guess the best thing is just to look at the 4-hour average speed, which gives us the best indication of the speed that they're, you know, actually going. And so right now, with both of the men, it seems a little bit on the low side still for the type of wind they're in. But I guess that can be easily explained by saying that both of the men are still being very careful, probably also trying to catch up on some sleep, both seeing that they have a beautiful you know, wind gallery right in front of them for the next few days. So I'm guessing maybe over these hours, while they're kind of safely in the lead and don't really have the maximum wind from this system yet, that they're maybe you know, sailing quite conservatively again right now, taking some rest. I heard that Alex actually slept for the first time yesterday, so congratulations on that. So cool that we can track all this stuff this edition. And I think that you know, once they have their energy ready, that probably we're going to see both men putting the hammer down more and more. And I predict that probably tomorrow or the day after we'll see some really high speeds, as they will probably start, if the sea state is steady, if the wind is kind of steady, when we might see them both take, you know, a little bit more risk. Not sure if we're going to see any speed records or anything. If you're looking at the weather report just plainly, it kind of looks like the type of situation where one might easily maybe set a new speed record for the Immoccas, because I mean 3 days of 20 to 30 knots. I mean, you know, that's like pretty perfect to do something like that. But it's still early in the race. We talked at length about, of course, what happened to Chirel and Jeremy Beju, and you know, his strategy of going kind of all out from the beginning, you know, which maybe has partly contributed to, you know, what's happening right now. So I'm expecting both boats to still stay a little bit careful, but I guess we'll see what happens. Update on Jeremy Beju. Chirel is in the marina in La Sable right now. Jeremy has pledged to restart the race if they're able to fix the boat in time. So yeah, nobody knows if that's going to happen or not, but we can all hope. So send him some support and let's hope he gets back into the race, and you know, we'll see what happens. Everything I think is still open at this time. Then for the prognosis after this 2-3 days, because that's kind of interesting also. If we look at the windy map here, then we can see that once they make their way through this little doldrum area that they will encounter probably 2.5 days from now, then for the most part, so this is Wednesday, so this is about the time that they should be arriving there. And when we look at the prediction from there, we see Wednesday on the Thursday, pretty much the same thing. And so I think that if we're, you know, just a little bit lucky, we are going to see an absolutely stunning race for probably the next 2-3 days, full out, super fast. There may be a day and a half of maybe some people getting stuck in some lower winds, maybe in some wind holes, but maybe some of them also moving straight through with basically no issues at all. And once they're through that little area, then we are probably going to be looking forward at another 2-3 days of absolutely great sailing. So yeah, I'm very excited. I hope you guys are also really looking forward to the next day. I think it's going to be a very exciting week, but not such a complex forecast. So I guess that's it for looking forward to what's going on in the race today.
getting some miles underneath us today on Medallia. It's day 7 of the Vendee Globe race, day 6, day 7, Saturday. And the big thing today is to skirt our way around Tropical Storm Theta, which is sort of in front of me to the south and to the east at the moment. Now, for us guys in the older boats at the back of the fleet, Theta hasn't been so much of an issue because it's not been directly in our path. And in fact, actually, we can use it to our advantage by just skirting down the edge of it as it passes across west to east in front of us, and that'll give us a bigger breeze. But what we need to be really careful of is that if the trajectory of the storm is slower or slightly different to what's been forecast, what I don't want to end up doing is sailing smack bang into these massive winds and seas. So what I'm looking at today is trying to understand the difference between the projected route, the forecast for the storm, and the real situation. So the projected route, I've been using just downloading 2 different weather models, and they've given me weather forecasts which show me how windy it is anywhere at any given time. And then I'm overlaying on top of that satellite images. So let's just have a look at how I'm working everything out. So this here is my forecast. So this is what the GFS model thinks that the weather is going to look like, and right there, that's the center of the storm. You can see the arrow with 4 sticks on it, so that means the wind there is 40 knots. In reality, it's probably more like 50 or 55. So the question is, how close is this to reality?
Can't wait for all of the cool videos that will be coming out of the guys absolutely burning it in the sunshine down there. So yeah, not a super complex forecast to play with as far as the prediction sides today, but that's good. It is Sunday after all. So I hope you all have a great day, a great enjoyment following the tracker today, and I'll see you all tomorrow. Ciao.